What's going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music, and today I want to talk about this compilation right here. This is Strange Breaks and Mr. Thing Volume 2, more rock, funk, soul, jazz, and soundtrack breaks for modern living. So I want to highlight this record particularly over, and I do have Volume 1 and Volume 3 in my possession, which are, by the way, also awesome compilations. Do recommend that you pick these guys up as well. This is the one that I am the most familiar with, and I feel like it's the one that I could probably talk the most in depth about. But the one thing that's consistent across all three volumes, and I can say with a certain amount of, well, certainty, is that what's really great about this compilation series, as the title would suggest, these compilations cover a pretty wide range of music. And despite doing that, it feels pretty cohesive. Nothing feels like it's out of place on any of these compilations. And I think that's one thing that is pretty commendable to Mr. Thing. His selection was just impeccable for this series of compilations. So one of the highlight aspects of this compilation in particular is just the wealth of cover tracks that I think a lot of people will actually be pretty familiar with. There's a cover of the Jackson 5's ABC, which uses horns as the lead, and it's an instrumental, and it's got a really, really solid drum break to start it off. There's also a cover of the Pink Panther theme on here, which starts off like the original composition before it just goes completely psychedelic rock and adds some monstrous slow burn drums into the mix. There's also a cover of Family Affair, which I believe is a Sly and the Family Stone track, and also Simon Monday's The Message, which goes reggae with it, but just has enough bass and swing that it doesn't just feel like a typical reggae cover or a by the numbers reggae cover. It really is one of the standout moments on this compilation. Beyond the covers that are on here, I feel like there's a lot of just really solid, rare funk and soul tracks on here. I would go through and break down every single song in detail as to what makes these tracks pretty special. But I don't feel like it'd really do them any justice, and it kind of takes the joy out of actually listening to these tracks for yourself. I will say, however, there is one track that is definitely worth highlighting, and that's Jake Wade and the Soul Searchers, Searching for Soul Part 1. That song just has one of those drum breaks. The type of drum break, if anyone who actually watches these videos, if you're a record buyer and you're in the record store and you go to the listening station, you're checking it out, you might know the sort of feeling that I'm talking about. You don't really know what's on the album, but there's something about the album that sort of attracts you to it. And you go run through a bunch of the tracks, like, hey, that's pretty cool. Hey, I might be able to play this, or this might make me pick it up. But Jake Wade and the Soul Searchers track, there's just something about that drum break. And I remember distinctively when I was listening to this compilation in a Tokyo record store, and I was at the listening station, had the headphones on, and I dropped the needle on that track in particular. And I just remember being eyes wide open, just shocked at that drum break, because it was always it's the type of drum break that I'm always looking for. It's unique, it's got a very distinctive sound to it, it's punchy, it's big. It's the sort of thing that if you play it out in a live set, I almost guarantee either people are going to start moving to it, or they're going to come up to you and ask you, what is that drum break? Again, all the songs that I talk, this song, guaranteed, I will post the link to in my WordPress so you can check it out for yourself. I don't think anything that I say about it is going to do it any sort of justice. Just believe me when I say, this is one of the best drum breaks I've ever heard. Overall, I can't really think of much else to say about this compilation. It does cover a few things that I didn't talk about. Namely, there's a couple of like really short jazz songs. There's a couple of blaxploitation tracks that are also really, really good. There's one track on here called Background Music, which, if you're familiar with Jay Dilla and Madlib's J-Lib project, you'll immediately recognize the drums in it. If you've never heard it before, it's some psychedelic Indian shit. Just overall, as a compilation, I feel like it's a pretty good starting point if you've never listened to this type of music. It comes highly recommended. There's definitely a little bit of something for everybody. I think even the person who has no prior knowledge of this kind of music could definitely get into this compilation. So if you're going to start with any of the Strange Breaks and Mr. Thing records, I feel like this is the one to start with. But that just might be my own bias because I've had this record for so many years and I've been listening to it for so long. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. If you guys like what you saw, if you want to see me do more stuff that's funk and soul related, if you want to see me do more hip hop related stuff, let me know. All of my social media links are going to be down in the description, so you can check me out, Twitter, Instagram. I am planning to start work on a new mix, so make sure you check me out on SoundCloud and Mixcloud. You can get an idea of what I like to play and what I like to put in my DJ mixes. Thanks again for watching. I'm still fucking terrible at ending these videos, so I'm just gonna say thanks again for watching, and hopefully I can start getting these out a little bit more frequently, but we'll see what happens.